What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. First game of pre-season done and dusted. The Frank era is well and truly up and running, people. 2-0, Spurs 2, Reading 0, in a game where we saw two different 11s in each half. So obviously in the first half, we saw Kinski in goal. We saw a back four of Porro on the right, a Doggy on the left, Kuti Romero and Kevin Danso at centre-backs. We saw Pape Matar and Bentancur sitting in the double pivot. We saw Brendan Johnson on the right. We saw Mikey Moore on the left, Alfie Devine in the 10, and Dom Solanke up top. So we'll talk about the first half first and foremost, which, I thought was decent. I thought there were some good performers out there without really threatening Reading too much, I would say. But, I think, for me, the most impressive player was definitely Destiny Udogie, the way he had control of that left-hand side, darting down, and even later on in the last 10 minutes, providing some really good link-up play with Mikey Moore. But I just thought, he just looked fresh, energetic, athletic, and just on it, really. Yeah, and I thought there was a few interesting things we could see from that first half. I think definitely how direct we're going to Solanke. Porro whipping in crosses a lot earlier than maybe we have done last season under Ange. Clearly, he was a bit deeper. Doggy given the license to bomb forward, and he was staying a lot wider. Both wing backs were not kind of inverted. They were kind of definitely staying a lot wider and doing maybe what was more natural to them. I think I like the idea of Porro kind of getting into those half spaces and crossing a lot earlier, and definitely he was using his passing range from deep to get forward, to get Tottenham forward very quickly, and obviously he went direct into Dom Solanke quite often as well. Devine playing in that number 10 role, popping up in different areas of the pitch, very similar to what Damsgaard was doing last season, kind of given the license to roam to the left, to the right, and pick up all different spots. And it was hard for Reading to pick him up. Nearly got an assist, but did struggle to get into the game other than that. But Kinski, I thought his passing was phenomenal. I was really impressed with what he was able to do with the ball at his feet. Looked really, really comfortable and was really setting Tottenham up on some really good moments with his passing range as well. Mikey Moore was growing into that half the longer it went on. I thought he was playing more in the half spaces in between the lines, with the Doggy definitely staying wider, and he was kind of given that license to pick up the ball in the space, run at the back four, and was struggled to get into the game up until kind of later on in the last 15 minutes of that half, where he was really starting to get involved and hurt the opposition. Solanke, I felt, used his hold-up play to good effect. He was definitely staying in the box a lot more. Bit disappointed probably with that finish he had, which he put over the bar. Probably be disappointed with that, but he was obviously a lot more in the box, and we're looking for him a lot more as well. And I think the more we do that, and the more we get used to his runs, that will pay dividends as well. Disappointments, I guess Brennan wasn't great when he was involved. Moves were breaking down a lot with him. So he wasn't fantastic well. I thought Danso was pretty decent as well in that half. But I just think that, we were playing 4-2-3-1, and it was very similar to kind of how Brentford was setting up, I felt, last season. You could see that being implemented this season. Yeah, absolutely. And I really like the dynamics of both fullbacks. I spoke about Udogie before, the way he was kind of high up the pitch and really having control of that left-hand side. Porro a bit further deeper and able to play those line-breaking passes and over-the-top through balls from deep. And I think he was doing that to a really good level. Maybe not much came from them, but I think Solanke was always looking to get on the end of them, and I think that's a positive when you're looking at the way that Frank wants to set us up. And I think Dom Solanke, he did come deep a couple of times, but I think for the most part he did just stick up there in the number 9 position, trying to feed off the long balls and looking to be aggressive up against the centre backs and just cause a real nuisance for himself, which I think he did, particularly in the first 25 minutes. And he was definitely a threat, Solanke, and I liked the energy levels that he was showing on the pitch. But it does take you back to maybe Brendan Johnson, what you were saying before. A lot of the times I just felt moves broke down when the ball came over to him. First touch really let him down, which was unfortunate. Maybe still feeling the effects of the hangover after the Europa League. But look, it's first game back from pre-season, so it's hard to make too many sweeping judgments on negative performances. But what you can focus on is what we've seen in a positive light, in my opinion, on the game. And from the first half, it was definitely Porro and Udogie. I thought were good, really good. Danso looked good, and yeah, like you mentioned before with Mikey Moore, in the last 10 minutes of that first half, he started to grow in the game, and I was saying to you at the time, like, it's just a bit of a shame that he's going to go off now, because he was really starting to strut his stuff.
Yeah, so hopefully he can build on that, and well, we'll remain to be seen what our plan is for him, but I thought he was really starting to get involved and look really energetic. I think the roles of the fullbacks are going to be very important. It's going to be different. I think it's going to be more suited to their strengths, and I'm really looking forward to how they adapt to it over the coming season, because I really think Porro playing in that kind of half space, kind of like Trent-like, and with a Doggy bombing forward on the outside and staying wider, it's really going to suit both of them.
I like it. I like the Trent-like, already taking up Frank's
Trent-like.
already taking up Frank's terminology. But look, in terms of moving on to the second half, we made 11 changes. So Vicario came in goal, Van de Ven and Vuskovic at the back. We had fullbacks of Jed Spence and Ben Davis. We had a midfield three of Yves Bissouma, Jamie Donnelly and Lucas Bergvall, Kudus on the right, Sonny on the left, and Will Lancashire up top. And I think you did see a difference straight away, to be honest. We went 1-0 up quite early on. 2 goals that we did score, both set-piece goals. And we saw actually before the game, they were very much practicing set pieces on the pitch. And you can see that's going to be a big staple of our play next season in terms of set pieces. And the main talking point is going to be of Luka Vuskovic, because the corner comes in for the first goal. He gets a really nice head onto that, and it falls into Will Lancashire's path. He's done really well to get to that goal. And every time we got a set piece from then on, we were like, all right, it's like a bloody penalty. Luka Vuskovic was just on everything, and his first 3 touches. Has there ever been a player that has come in for their first game and had better first three touches than that? An assist with the first one, gets a goal with the second one with an unbelievable finish. Like, wow, he just guides that into the far corner like he's a seasoned veteran striker. Unbelievable. And his third touch was a goal save, or one off the line, or just in front of Vicario. Vicario might have been getting to that, but still, you got to make it yours, and that's exactly what he done. But today belongs to Luka Vuskovic, man. What a performance, and what a first 3 touches in the Spurs shirt.
It's one hell of a way to introduce yourself to the Spurs fans. Obviously, there's been a lot of hype about him, a lot of excitement. We've seen what he's been doing out in Belgium last season, with the goals he's been scoring and the quality he's showing. And the question is, can he come here and show that for Tottenham, or is it still too soon for him? But if this was any indication, woof, straight away in there with the threat from set pieces. I know, look, it's a friendly, it's a championship side, you've got to take that all to account, but still, you can only play what's in front of you, and to do that in your first 10 minutes as a Tottenham player, as a teenager as well, is mightily impressive, and it's so exciting about the future for him. The towering header to the back post, brilliant flick on, and fair play to Lancashire, does really well to kind of get in the position and finish it, but it was all about Vuskovic winning that first header, and the way he stayed forward, makes the correct run when Kudus kind of breaks the offside trap and kind of plays it into his path, and the way he just sweeps it into the far corner with power, literally nestles into the side netting.
Power and precision, wasn't it?
It's unbelievable on his weaker foot, and I noticed he was very, very comfortable using that left foot,
right foot, no matter.
Throughout the whole game, whether it's passing, take it under control, he has no qualms about using that left foot. He will happily play a pass, whether it's switch a play or a pass out wide with that left foot, which shows how two-footed he is. And then that goal, I mean, if you ever needed more evidence of how two-footed he is, phenomenal finish. I think any striker in the Premier League would have been proud of that finish. The way he just stroked it into the corner, and you couldn't quite believe it was him when it was going in, and it was phenomenal. And a star was born, as you say, probably after that moment. All the talk about him, it's so exciting. And I thought that obviously gave him the confidence to really dominate. I thought him and Van de Ven, I actually thought even in general play defensively, he was more impressive, Van de Ven. Van de Ven had a few iffy moments, but Vuskovic seemed to be doing everything, apart from there was one real loose pass, which he kind of got away with. I think he was actually the more impressive of the two in the first game. Yeah,
I completely agree with that. And when we signed him, it seems like so long ago when we signed him as a 16-year-old boy. He's 18 years old now, and we've just been following him so closely from the Croatian league to the Polish league to the Belgian league, and we're like, can he do it in English football? Yes, it's just a pre-season. Yes, it is against League One Reading. He's come in though in his first game and looked at home. look completely at home. So I'm very excited what the future holds. Whether he still goes out on loan or he's here to stay for next season, he is going to be a real handful wherever he plays. He's just such a threat from an offensive position, and he looks strong from a defensive position as well. So yeah, unbelievable. And finally we got to get to see him in a Spurs shirt, and he did not disappoint today. The other player that we have to speak about that the first time we've seen in a Spurs shirt is Mohamed Kudus, because everyone's so excited to see him. He only wanted Spurs. He's got Spurs in his heart, and he played like it today. I mean, some of the moves that he was doing was just to die for. Such an exciting player to watch. Takes it past his opponent with ease. There was that one move down the line with some really nice link-up play with Jed Spence, where he played it to Donnelly, and Donnelly didn't put it in the back of the net. But what an unbelievable passage of play that was. And just the nice little back heels and the way he can take it past his man. This guy is going to be such an exciting player for us.
Yeah, 100%. And a similar in terms of more like for the first, I know he ended up in the first 10 minutes of the game or first 15 minutes of his appearance with an assist, and also he took the corner, which obviously led to the first goal. So he had made a positive impact. But he actually wasn't getting involved in the game that much, apart from those couple of moments. He was taking set pieces, and we weren't getting him in on the right. We weren't really getting the ball in him in general play. So I was wanting him to get more involved. I was wanting to see more of Mohamed Kudus. And about the 65th minute mark, all of a sudden, we started to play the ball to him. He started to get his dribbling boots on. He started to kind of get involved in the game. He started to take the game training, and all of a sudden became alive. It was like a switch was turned on, and all of a sudden it became a spark. He was taking people on. He was doing pirouettes. He did that mad run down the line where he was beating 2 or 3 Reading players to the ball and getting into the box and causing trouble, laying one on a play for Jamie Donnelly. Really exciting kind of second half performance from Mohamed Kudus. It was, again, any indication of what he's going to bring to Tottenham. Super exciting. Every time he decided to, he was going to dribble and this was going to be his moment, he was just so hard to stop. Obviously, again, it comes to decision making and stuff in the final third, which I don't think it was bad today, but obviously you want to see him be a bit more effective when he gets into the final third. But when it came to that dribbling ability, running his way out of trouble, winning fouls, linking up with the forward players, really positive first start. And he was so electric at times in this game. And I think Reading will be happy that they don't have to play him again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they were struggling.
Interestingly enough, with Mohamed Kudus, he was actually on the corners, wasn't he, when Sonny was on the pitch, which was very interesting for me to see. And, at a decent level as well. Yeah,
good set pieces, causing trouble. Well, a lot of them were straight onto the goalkeeper, and he was causing them a lot of trouble. Goalkeepers forced to punch them and stuff like that. So I really like his performance. The only thing I'd say, maybe getting a bit more involved, but other than that, obviously there's another 10 players on the pitch. They all got to have their time on the pitch, but fantastic first performance, and really exciting. And this is exactly what we want to see. Someone who's got that ability. Is such a difference between him and Brennan. Like when Brennan's on the ball, he's always looking backwards. He's always kind of not confident about taking on his man. But Kudus, his first thought, can I beat him? Can I get into that space? How do I get past his man? And I think they struggled to stop him.
Such an exciting player, and I can't wait to see more of him in a Spurs shirt. Another player who impressed was Jamie Donnelly. Came in second half, ball playing ability, maybe could have had a goal as well. Definitely very much more involved than Alfie Devine was in the first half.
Yeah, I think so. And I think when he was on the ball, looked more comfortable, made quicker decisions. I thought showed more quality as well. So for me, I thought Donnelly, if there was an audition between one of them being in the squad for next season, I thought Donnelly was the one who took it a lot better. Some really good switches of play. I thought some really good flicks and interchanges with Son as well at times. And he just looked a lot more comfortable, I felt. Well, I don't think it was like anything mind-blowing, but he looked at home, whereas I thought Donnelly, I thought Devine seemed a bit behind the levels, whereas I thought Donnelly looked way more at home. Obviously, he was, played in League One last season, so that kind of level isn't new to him, but I thought really good stuff from Jamie Donnelly, so really encouraging.
Decent showing from Ben Davis at left back as well.
Davis was good,
I thought
solid.
From a defensive capability, he did really well. Jed Spence, a bit up and down. I thought Spence, like, on the ball, a few misplaced passes here, but a nice little link-up play with Mohamed Kudus down that right-hand side. He could have given away a penalty. Haven't seen it back again, but I thought that could have been given. But, yeah, a bit up and down from Jed Spence. Interesting with the dynamic between Vicario and Kinski, because Kinski obviously did such great work in the first half with his ball-playing ability, getting us into dangerous areas with that. Vicario kind of like out of sorts in that situation.
I thought Vicario really struggled with the. I don't know whether
he made better saves than Kinski.
Yeah, I guess Kinski didn't really have any saves to make. So I mean, there was obviously one moment Kinski looked a bit dodgy from a free kick, but then Vicario as well was struggling at some set pieces at points. But when it came to just purely what maybe Frank was asking to do from the ball at their feet kind of standpoint, I have to say Vicario struggled badly.
Yeah.
It was a real awkward watch, to be honest. He didn't look comfortable. I have to say, he didn't look comfortable when he had the ball at his feet. Most of his passes were going out of play. I think Kinski did have one, but most of them were hitting the target and were positive. I think Vicario was kind of the opposite. Most of them were kind of awkward to control or going out of play, and he panicked. He was panicking quite a bit. He was forcing himself to do like up and unders and clearances. And I just felt Kinski looked so much more comfortable with the ball at his feet, and clearly they were both asked to kind of play out the back and be involved in it. And Vicario, have to say, just didn't look very comfortable with it. So whether that leads to, down the line, Vicario is going to have to improve that element. Otherwise, Kinski might well find himself in the number one. Obviously, can't make too many judgments based on that game because it was Reading. As I said, Kinski didn't have too much to do when it came to shot stopping. Vicario had a couple of saves to make and he made them well. So whether Kinski would have done the same, we'll never know. But when it comes to that element, this is obviously the suggestions we were making when Frank first came in. Kinski's going to be a lot more comfortable with that kind of stuff. And I think that first half of that first game definitely showed that. So definitely things to work on for Vicario. And on that evidence, you've got to be a bit worried for him, to be honest, because if that's going to be how uncomfortable he's going to be, he's going to have to work on that. He really, really does. But anyway, that was a slight negative. Son, have to say, I was disappointed in him. He looked out of sorts. There was just something wrong with him. He looked off the pace. He was miscontrolling things. He ballooned a shot off over the bar from the edge of the box. He looked a bit, when he got the ball, there was moments where he was just leaving the ball behind him. He just looked, whether, maybe he hasn't been back in training for too long. So to be fair, maybe he just needs to get up to speed a bit because he's only been back in training for a couple of days. But he looked off the pace. He looked off the pace completely, to be honest, Sonny.
I think there was something off about Son in terms of, I don't want to say attitude because it's hard to say that Son ever has a bad attitude, but I felt like his shoulders were slumped, body language was a bit off. He didn't look on it at all. And it was sad to see Sonny like that because he just did not look happy to be on that pitch. He
seemed down.
Yeah,
his head was down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, body language just looked all off from Sonny. And is that, is his time at Tottenham done? I don't know. But if today's anything to go by, it's not a good look.
Yeah, and I think he wasn't confident taking on his man. To be fair, when he first came on, he did one really good, step over and then a cross, and I think that led to the corner. Obviously, we scored, and I think okay, Son's looking good, and then we did keep feeding him. We fed him a lot more than we fed Kudus, and he just wasn't able to do anything. When he did try and take him on, he lost out. A lot of the times he didn't even try; he just went backwards, and even then, some of his passing back to the fullback and stuff wasn't particularly fantastic. I think his runs were good. He was getting good positions, but never really
on the ball.
Yeah, he just didn't look confident. He looked down. He seemed he just looked off the pace. And yeah, look, let's just see how the rest of pre-season progresses with him. But it wasn't a great start, unfortunately. I have to say, with Son.
But look, I think all in all, really good 90 minutes. Good to see the kind of differences in between the Ange system and the Frank system and the kind of different positions that the players are taking up the pitch. And I thought for the most part, the majority of the players looked sharp. It was good to see definitely Vuskovic and Kudus making their first appearances in the Spurs shirt. They were definitely the shining lights, I think, in the game, particularly obviously in the second half, and then the first half I thought it was the fullbacks. But good to be back, people. Good to get off to a winning start to pre-season, and we'll be back next week with the Luton game where we'll go do it all over again. So very much looking forward to that. But 2-0 in the first pre-season game. Luka Vuskovic. Man.
What a man.
The guy has arrived. Luka Vuskovic has arrived. Goal and assist in his first 2 touches in the Spurs shirt. Let's see what next week has in store for us.
Remember the name.
Exactly. So let us know your thoughts of the game in the comments section below. Now it's time to go to the people. Let's see what they have to say on the game.
We've got some super chats quickly before we go to them.
Yeah, so what are the super chats saying?
We have Robert Palmer says, who partners Vuskovic as centre-back in our best 11? We've already crowned Vuskovic as in the starting 11.
We've already crowned Vuskovic as Spurs' best centre-back of all time.
I have to say, if Vuskovic continues pre-season in this form, you can't send him out on loan again, can you? You're going to have to keep him in the squad.
Yeah. I mean, if he keeps... can you imagine if he performs like that against like Arsenal or Newcastle or Bayern Munich?
Oh, the hype's going to be off the scale.
Because I was saying, I can't remember which player I was saying it about, but I was saying I envisaged like a kind of Dele Alli kind of pre-season when he just burst onto the scene and started nutmegging Luka Modric. Well, let's see if Luka Vuskovic can do it against that kind of opposition.
But it's also very encouraging that the new players are the ones, really taking their chance. Donnelly obviously coming into the team. Kudus wanting to replace Vuskovic, already showing what they could add to the team, aren't they? And already showing what they bring to the table. So that's really good that they've kicked off their pre-season in really positive fashion. Malware says Frank era has officially kicked off. Vuskovic, wow, what a player. In Pep's voice, he's saying, what a player. What a player. And D Ricky 13 says Son didn't play bad, but some here need to tone it down. Saying to sell the the agent, whatever. He says if he goes, okay, but let's not insult our legend this way. I mean, I haven't seen that.
Nobody should ever be insulting anyone in a Spurs shirt, but most of all Son Heung-min, the guy that has given so much to this football club. He is a legend. He is a winner, a captain of a European winning side, and a current holders of the European competition. So don't ever, anyone ever talk like that about Sonny, ever. The guy is an absolute living legend. And look, whatever path he takes right now, whether he stays or whether he goes, that is fully up to him and the coaching staff and everything else. And I'll respect the decision whatever way it comes. But the guy is an absolute legend of this football club, and he deserves the utmost respect.
100%. At the end of the day, it's the first game of pre-season. Doesn't really mean much. Like, maybe he'll start to hit his form later on. So, yeah, he played badly, and there's no getting away from it. But we'll see how the pre-season goes with him. Because we know he's going to be here for the whole pre-season.
Yeah. Well, definitely till the tour anyway. All right, let's move on. Let's go to our guests. And first up is Mr. George Orton. How are we doing, George?
My man, how are we doing?
I'm incredibly happy that you brought me on before Brian. I've made it.
He's crazy. It's crazy. How did you sneak in there before Brian?
I think he was having an issue with it. I'd love to take some credit, but I think that was the problem. But no, what a game! Like, as first pre-season, that's good.
Nah, thanks for coming on, George. Anyway, like I think, what were your key takeaways from that game?
Vuskovic, holy crap, what a player we've got. I don't want to get too gassed up too early on, but I sort of saw a bit of resemblance in him to how Bergvall was just taking off last season in pre-season. And obviously we saw what he went on and did. So I'm very excited to see him. Obviously I was very excited to see Mo Kudus. And yeah, he delivered. What a run down the line that was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
absolutely. In terms of first thoughts of Frank Ball and those kind of things, what do you learn from it? What did you see maybe in the terms of changes in approach that we're going to adopt?
Initially, I think they were a bit stuck in the Ange Ball way for maybe the first 15 minutes. It looked like we were quite tight. I mean, we were playing more at the back, it seemed, but it seems more like we're still going down. I see a lot of similarities, put it that way. But I think after a few more games, I think we'll start seeing a bigger impact. And obviously, when he started finalising who the starting 11's actually going to be, I think we'll be able to take a bit more away from it. But sort of echoes what everyone's saying about Son. he's only come back this week, last week. Like this, probably one of his first training sessions. We can't really take too much from it, in my opinion.
But yeah, I get that, and I do agree to a certain extent. But did you feel like, because I saw something just a bit off with Sonny today, I felt like he looked a bit down, upset, shoulders slumped, head down. Did you notice that as well?
Not till you said it. When you said it, I was like, yeah, that's a good point. But again, I think he was kind of like that last season as well. I think it may be just coming off the back of a poor season last season, other than obviously winning the trophy. But I've always been
he
in
might
the
just be
camp you guys
unhappy
were,
with
like
his own
you said,
performance as
but I
well.
think-
True.
Yeah, it could be that, of course. You guys won't like me saying it, but I think Harry Kane made him look a little bit better than he is. I still think he's an amazing, outstanding, world-class player. But I think with no one in the centre, it makes him look worse because he can provide the balls in, and Solanke's just not finishing them. Whereas if it was Harry Kane, obviously he's getting all these extra assists. So I think that might be a part to play. As for his attitude, nothing really stood out to me, I'll be honest.
Fair play. What did you make out of the dynamics in the first half and the second half with the goalkeeper? Obviously, with Antonin Kinski, brilliant ball playing ability, and Vicario kind of struggling with that in the second half.
I was nervous when Kinski was in goal, and I wasn't when Vicario was in goal. I don't know what that has to say about anything.
From what aspect?
My cousin, obviously, he's a goalkeeper, and well, I mean, he won't come on camera. But what was you? You said you were a bit nervous about Kinski. What was?
I don't know. I just haven't seen him play in a while, so
Yeah, uncomfortable on the ball. It seemed. That's what I thought.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, I thought he looked more uncomfortable. I thought under pressure he looked more uncomfortable. I think Vicario seemed like he was more willing to go long if he needed to just get rid of the ball, whereas Kinski, there was a couple of misplaced passes. I know there was for Vicario as well, but
Interesting.
I don't know.
I saw the
Again,
complete opposite.
first game, blown off cobwebs.
Fair enough. New boy, Mohamed Kudus. Is that the only new signing you played? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Vuskovic
Well,
is
Vuskovic
kind
as
of a
well,
signing.
yeah.
Tell me what you thought about Kudus. Great to see someone dribble, isn't it?
Yeah, apart from that one little bit on the edge of the box where he kind of stuck a half-assed leg out to try and block a shot and just let the player run straight past him, I can't say anything he's done wrong in that game. Incredibly, like I did not want him to come to the club after the game at the stadium last season. Nearly called it the Lane at the stadium last season, but I mean now he's here. What a player we've got.
Any other of the kids that you saw today and you thought can stay here for next season and make an impact?
For me, Mikey Moore was player of the half in the first half. I didn't see you guys mention him in that. I think he was running the show. He was tracking back, picking up the ball in deep areas, running through the line, setting it down out wide if it needed to go out wide, cutting in if he needed to cut in. So I was, as I've always been, impressed by him. I hope we keep hold of him. Lancashire, I think it's going to be another season of him helping from the bench, but I think he's a good player to have there. So those two, as the young ones, were probably my standouts. Obviously Vuskovic as well in the second half. Bergvall.
Look, yeah,
If you can call him
Bergvall.
that.
We didn't mention Bergvall. I thought it was a bit of an off day for him today. Unfortunately, I thought he was kind of losing the ball quite a bit. But for Jamie Donnelly, was that an encouraging enough performance to suggest has he got a chance of being in the squad next year?
Maybe not in the starting lineup, but he's definitely not one we should be selling. Definitely not. We need to be holding on to, like, we've got such a good academy and such a good group of talent coming through from the under-18s and under-21s that I think some of them, we should be selling just to create some space in the squad. But some of them, such as your Mikey Moores, Jamie Donnelly's, Will Lankshire's, we need to be keeping hold of them and actually capitalising on that talent. Hopefully with the new progression staff that we've got in place as well under Frank, that they'll just absolutely thrive, I hope. And I think they will.
All right, George. Lovely to see you, mate. Appreciate you calling in. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon.
Big up,
No
George.
worries. As
Big
always,
up.
come on you Spurs.
Come on, his first. Come on. Absolutely love that. All right, that was George. Is Brian there? Can we get into? Yeah, let's get Brian on. Brian Daigle, your first taste of Frank Ball. Tell me how it tasted, Brian.
Very, very sweet. Very, very sweet, and lovely. Delighted with it.
Brian, where's the Thomas the Frank Engine T-shirt, man? What's
I'm
going
not
on
wear
here?
it every single day. Listen, mate, give it a rest.
I thought you were going to have 365 for each day of the year.
I mean, well, if you're going to send me 365, I'll wear it 365.
The stain must remain.
What happened to
Yeah,
that?
mate, listen. It's like I said, I'm going to wear it. The first game I think I have to wear it is the filth.
Okay.
Then when we
saving
beat
it
the
for the
filth,
film.
and then we'll go from there. But look, I thought it was a 2-0 win. First goal from a set piece, something that we very rarely did. Set pieces in general, defensive and attacking, look coached, well drilled. And if we're going to get kudos seats in the club shop, how long till we get Thomas Frank tactic boards? In that I loved seeing it. I was watching it, and not that it's a major thing, but how many times do you see a manager doing on the pitch halftime team talk, obviously clearly showing the tactic boards? A 2-0 win, mate, clean sheet. What's there not to like?
Yeah, and he seemed a lot more animated on the sidelines than we ever saw Ange last season, didn't he?
Well, he did. I mean, obviously he also had his hands crossed like this a lot of the time. It doesn't matter. What I do like.
It's because he's building on Ange Postecoglou's great work from last
There
season.
you go. He's standing on the shoulders. He's standing on the shoulders. What I will say is, in the first half, a lot of the passing looked sideways or a little bit behind the player, whereas when the changes came in the second half, we looked a lot more expansive, a lot more progressive, and wanted to attack a bit more. But you could say that with Ange as well, wasn't it? The second half of every season, pre-season, we looked a lot brighter. As we've said before, it's all about getting fitness and getting Frank's patterns of playing, styles of playing, formations up and running, and that's what we did today.
Is there anything you noticed when it came to how we're going to approach games and how we set up and things like that you noticed that you want to discuss or impressed you or didn't impress you?
Well, first of all, let's say Kevin Danso. It's only Reading, but Kevin Danso is just such a comfortable defender. He just looks like we did very well in getting him. We did very well in getting him. And you can remember a lot of Spurs fans at the time were, oh my God, we're buying Wolves rejects or we're doing this. He's a top defender. I think we've got a real defender on our hands that just loves to defend. Porro was looking at both fullbacks. Destiny, as you were saying, Ben, grew into it, but they weren't just bombing forward non-stop. There was a lot. I think the shape, again, this is only Reading, it's the first game. They just looked a lot more shape and a lot more structure. Alfie did what he could do. That great pass to Solanke. I will say Solanke looked off it, didn't he? In the first half, Solanke looked off it, but the service again. Second half was night and day. First half was a lot more structure, and then the second half, they went for it. And second half, he's here, he's there, he's every fucking where, Vuskovic. He was, mate, absolutely everywhere. He looks like an NFL player, a boxer, and a rugby player that is going to be a great player for Tottenham Hotspur.
Don't forget NBA player as well.
Oh, mate, well, let's add it in. He's a unit. But I was very, very impressed with Kudus.
Yeah, just back on Vuskovic for a second. Where the hell did that finish come from?
Mate, how could... Well, we saw him scoring regularly Vesterloo, didn't we?
Yeah.
So he's obviously got this. But also what I loved was with the set pieces, I said at the beginning, seeing us win the first ball at a set piece. It's a towering header for him. And Lancashire did well. I mean, I don't know how much Lancashire knew about it, but it was a really nice cushion header. And then to be up there and slot that away in the side netting like Harry Kane used to do, it was a wonderful finish for a centre-back.
On his weak foot. On his weak foot.
Assist by Kudus. Who look, how long have we been saying we wanted that exciting player that will take the ball on and just be so direct? Yeah. And that's what Kudus was when he got the ball. He was very direct. And again, we can keep saying it's only Reading. They got the minutes in, but it's something we've missed, haven't we?
But Brian, you
absolutely.
seen enough with Vuskovic? He's part of the squad next season. Is that it? 45 minutes is enough for you, or you need to see a bit more?
Do you know what I mean? It is the first proper look we've had of him, and I was under my thought is I'd like if one of him or Phillips had to go, I was keep Phillips because Phillips has had the Championship loan and has done it for a couple of years there. But that's the kind of performance he's going to put in. Let's see him doing it at Luton, and like Ben said, can you imagine if it was against Arsenal or Newcastle? But it would be brilliant. But the great thing is they got some minutes in their legs. You could see in the first half what they were trying to do. The ideas were all right. Maybe just the first pass or first touch was a little bit underwhelming. But you could see that they're trying to do what Frank did, and we saw just back fours, didn't we? Maybe against Luton he goes to a back five. Or in other these games, but it's not about playing absolutely mind-boggling, brilliant, free-flowing football non-stop. Reading, I will say as well, were quite physical, weren't they? They were, especially that tackle on Porro. So listen, 2-0, set pieces night and day, new players on scene, or Kudus and Vuskovic, we could say, is like you said, a new player. First half wasn't the greatest, but a 2-0 win, we'd all would have taken it.
Yeah, in terms of Mohamed Kudus, obviously the second player that we saw in the first time in the Spurs shirt. I mean, when you're comparing him to what Brennan Johnson showed in the first half, I mean, that's complete night and day, isn't it?
Yeah, it was complete night. Brennan didn't look right, did he? He was playing back on the right wing. He looked off the pace. His first touch was not the greatest. But Kudus came in. They're completely different players, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are completely different. Their skill set is completely different, which just shows he's got options. I think Brennan will be more central. But the thing you got to look forward to, Ben, as well as and Sim as this goes on, is that was just a mix and match. It's all going to start gearing towards that first team 11, isn't it? The further we go down. But yeah, it was night and day. And I will say with Sonny, yes, what was more alarming to me wasn't the performance. He's just come back. It wasn't the best performance, but he's just come back and everything. Sonny's body language did not look like Sonny's normal body language, did it? That read into it what you will. It could be a multiple of things, but normally you see a happy, smiley Sonny who's just happy to be on the pitch and playing. The body language was more telling to me than the performance, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you think there is something to read into that? Do you think he's off? I mean, what do you think?
I think more to the point, we've been heavily linked with left wingers, whether it's just paper talk and nonsense. They said they're going to have this conversation, aren't they, after the tour of career? And I'm like you, if he stays, I think he'll be more centrally, but I'm starting to think he may be leaving. And if he leaves, thank you, Sonny, for everything you've done. You're a legend. You got the trophy that all these Spurs players weren't able to do and left because of. You've given 10 wonderful years service. You'll always go down in folklore and legendary status of this football club. And whatever Sonny wants as his next move, I support.
Yeah, completely agree.
Well, in terms of the goalkeeper situation, he started Kinski today.
Yep.
Brought on Vicario for the second half. How do you see that battle going?
Like George was saying, Kinski's passing, you can see it there. He's like a quarterback, isn't he? Just spinning those balls out. He didn't really have a save to make. Vicario looked shaky on the ball, but when he had to make that save at the end, he made a great save. So I think it's very, very. I think it's such a good move bringing in the ex-Liverpool goalkeeping coach. We know what Vicario needs to work on, i.e. distribution. Hopefully that'll work on, and then as we get into the start of the season, he'll have his back four that he's going to be working with. But one thing I will say, and a big plus for Vicario, he looks so much more convincing in set pieces today. He looked more assured, more confident. He was on those aspects, and the defence looked like they weren't shaky when a set piece was coming in. There was the very, very first one with Kinski in goal where he kind of flapped. And then we dealt with it. But when Vicario was in goal, we looked a lot more convincing set piece wise. So it's kind of like that. But the goalkeeper coach has got a lot of work to do with Vicario distribution wise. and Kinski shot stopping wise.
Yeah.
So we've got the right goalkeeping coach in. If he can do, if he's training Alisson and Kelleher, and look how they performed the last few years for Liverpool, then we're in good hands there. Pun intended. Pun intended.
Absolutely. There was one notable absentee that we kind of don't have an explanation for, where we do with the others, is Richarlison.
Yeah.
You know, he's been training for quite a while now, not even in the squad. Do you think there's more about that?
We just never know with him, do we? Like I heard you talking when you came on the pre-match bump up. These Fluminense links aren't going away. Maybe he could be off to Brazil. But yesterday, Frank was saying that he like he's been saying with a lot of people, that he likes them. But I think as well with this first half showing of Solanke, as much as I do like Solanke and think he will have a much better season, I think we've seen now that we do need another striker. We need to bring in a striker for this summer as one of the key objectives to bring in. So yeah, it was a bit unexplained, wasn't it? It was unexplained, and obviously we've seen Morgan Gibbs-White play for Forest. Was it a goodbye clap? I don't know why people have gone mad that he started for them today. It's breaking news: player plays for club.
Yeah.
Kane did it for us and then went to Bayern Munich days later. I still think he comes. I'm never going to give up the hope that this man comes to us, and we'll see. But a notable absentee for us with Richarlison was Morgan Gibbs-White clapping goodbye. But we'll see. But I think that's getting back to Richarlison's absence and Solanke not looking at it, even though it's the first game. I think we keep talking about number 6, who I'm starting to think a striker might be more important.
Interesting. I mean, on Morgan Gibbs-White, you're saying you're not losing hope.
No.
And I agree with you. I'm there with you. At what point do you start losing hope? If he's on that plane to Portugal on Monday, what would your thoughts be then?
My thoughts will be, damn, I wish he was with us. I'm not giving up hope till 11 p.m. UK time, September the 1st. With this player, I can't give up hope. If he goes on, listen, how many players have gone on tours and then it happened? I know this fee's been triggered. I think it's the Forest owner digging him. Maybe this performance that we've had today, Frank Lange, Vinay and Levy will have words and say, right, we need to put up the money, we need to get this done. Let's just add the money. If he goes on tour, it's not the greatest look for us. I refuse to give up hope on this. I hope Spurs do everything to get Thomas Frank their man, and I still believe and still think by the end of this window, and hopefully by the end of tomorrow, I don't know why, I've just got a feeling. Actually, I shouldn't say that, Ben, because when I say to you my spider senses, it goes the opposite.
Yeah.
So
the spidey senses aren't the most accurate.
Yeah, on certain. But what happens is normally the exact opposite happens. So yeah, I think he's getting on the plane. He's going. And then hopefully tomorrow we hear something. But yeah, I'm not giving hope. I think Frank gets his man. I think Spurs get him.
What did you think of your guy Devine today with his first 45, and compared to, he came off with Donnelly, and how, it could be potentially an audition between the two, who stays in the squad or who's more likely. What did you make of both their performances?
I've said all along, I think Alfie Devine needs a championship loan next season, and I stand by it. He came on, he did that wonderful ball for Solanke. He was always trying to get the ball forward, always trying to get on the ball. Some of his passing was a little bit off, but he got 45 minutes. Like I said, I think he needs a championship loan. Donnelly went to Leyton Orient, obviously League One, and just shone and played constant football. I can't see him getting constant football, especially when Gibbs-White is here. And then if we get a 6 or whatever, I can't see Alfie Devine getting regular minutes at Tottenham this season. I want him to hopefully get a new deal, go out on loan in the Championship, smash it, and then next season we evaluate. I think he definitely needs a loan. Jamie Donnelly looked bright. I think Jamie Donnelly is ahead of him. But also, I think Jamie Donnelly's more a 10, and I think Alfie's more an 8. So it's a completely different skill set. But yeah, I think Alfie, I'm happy with what Alfie did. I wish Solanke had put that in the net. But I do think Alfie needs a championship loan.
All right, big up, Daigle. First taste of Frank Ball today,
Thomas,
and
Frank.
off to a good win as well. So
Damn right.
See you back here same time next week.
Look forward to it, boys. Everyone in the chat, have a great weekend, and you two boys and Vinny, have a wonderful Saturday. See you later.
Cheers, Brian. Brian is gassed for the first sighting of Frank Ball. And let's see if our next guest is as gassed. And he goes by the name of Ross. How we doing, Ross?
Oh, I am doing fantabulous today, boys.
That's what we like to hear, my friend. That's what we like to hear. First sighting of Thomas Frank as Spurs manager today, as well as Luka Vuskovic and Mohamed Kudus. What were your thoughts on the game?
It's Big Frank Ball. You can keep your pasta glue.
You can't say that with this guy sitting next to me.
No. All respect to Ange, of course. I mean, he laid the foundation. But Luka Vuskovic, I'm just going to say, today is July 19th, 2025. Remember that day, because that day a star was born.
100%.
I mean, this kid, wow. I mean, we all watch the videos and, can he do it? I mean, he just comes out there, he's huge, it's like in Brad Pitt and Snatch. Look at the size of him, he's a huge guy. And then that hit, I mean, that's a striker's finish. We got a center back striker, Luka Skyscraper, I think I'm going to call him. I mean, that guy is, wow. I mean, again, first preseason game, you want to take your grain of salt, but you love what you see. And Kudus, oh my goodness, he's this kind of player. Get you out of your seat. I mean, that guy is just, MK Ultra. I mean, he is just insane. I mean, how long have we wanted a guy like that? I mean, we've been crying out for a guy like that. I mean, it's really, really nice to see. And we looked more composed in defense. It was what was my big takeaway from that. We weren't scrambling. We weren't running back. None of this. Now we got a full sprint. See our hamstrings roll up like window shades. It's none of that, and it's just really nice to see us more organized and composed there.
In terms of the apart from on the ball, a bit of Frank Ball. What were your early assessments of Frank Ball?
I like it. I mean, it's just we weren't relying on playing up the flanks as much as we were. More central, more better passes, looking to get the ball up. Not so much of this. Oh, nothing's here. Let's toss it back to the keeper. He was involved in the build-up, but the other guys were more involved in that. And we connected more and looking to get in the channels. And I mean, so the part of the reason I think Solanke struggled is he's just not used to getting the ball. He was like, "What? I'm getting the ball now? What's going on? I'm not a press machine anymore." So no, I really liked it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. What was your opinions on the roles of the fullbacks? Because very different to what we saw under Ange. Obviously, not too much inverting and very much, tugged out wide. Did you like what you saw from them?
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. It's nice to see them playing more almost like a wing back. Kind of more of both defensively and going forward, not just bombing forward, which helps of course defensively because then they can help out. They're not way up there in the final third, trying to run back when there's really not much they can do. So yeah, I like that too. That was another positive. A lot of those kind of positives right now.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed a lot from Destiny. I thought he was very influential in that first half, as well as Porro. Porro with his great ball-playing ability from deep. I really liked what I saw from both of them. Jed Spence, what was your opinion on him today?
He did all right. I mean, that was just awful when he tried to force that shot there. It's like, come on, you have Kudus right there. You've drawn the keeper over. You've done your job. Slide that over, man. And, he's a young guy. He's trying to make something happen. I get that. But, and again, first game of preseason. But, yeah, you got to do a little bit better there. That's not something that Frank and the staff are going to really like.
Do you think these players like Vuskovic, like Jamie Donnelly, can stay here next season? Are they going to stake a claim to be in the first team squad next season, or do they need another loan, do you reckon?
Oh, Vuskovic, I think, is going to be part of the squad. I mean, again, one game, one good performance doesn't make it, assured. But I really think he's going to, he's made a case. And if he, as you guys said, if he can keep playing like this, especially against the Premier League sides, I mean, it's real hard to not include him in the squad. Donnelly showed some promise, but again, he might get kind of lost in the shuffle. I think I see him going out on a loan to somewhere, just to get a little bit more experience, But again, a good problem to have, a good problem to have to make these decisions.
And another problem is potentially the goalkeeper situation. He started Kinski today. He was obviously looking very comfortable playing out the back. Vicario, not so much. How do you assess that situation?
Yeah, Kinski is more of a keeper that will fit the system better. I mean, he's almost like having another center back out there, the way he plays the ball. I mean, he's just like the old sweeper when he used to have the sweeper keeper. He's really good at that, real comfortable. I mean, we saw that. I mean, the kid comes in against Liverpool in a cup semifinal and just, acted like he'd been there the whole time. And Vicario, not so good with that, but the shot stopping. So we kind of got, some of both here. Kinski's got a little bit, I think, to learn with the shot stopping, but he's so good in the distribution and playing like that extra center back. Vic is such a good shot stopper, so athletic, really good at getting out there and, like that save he had, reaching out and, knocking those things away. And he's got to work on that. So, again, that's going to be something that as the preseason goes on, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Sonny after the game today. Looked a bit out of sorts out on that left-hand side. Some suggestions about his body language as well, which I picked up on. Do you agree with that? What do you think the future holds for Sonny?
One thing I've learned following this club, I never doubt him and Son.
Yeah.
I don't doubt him.
Absolutely spot on.
I have learned that, and I don't. I mean, the guys, he has games like this. We've seen it. I mean, it doesn't mean that he's staying and he's not going to go. No, but we've seen this from Sonny. He just got there. He probably a little frustrated. He's got a new system to learn too. He's got to do things the way Frank does. But I've just learned I don't doubt him, because every time you doubt him, he's going to come back and he's going to show you. But as others have said, if he wants to go, he can go. He's a legend. He's a hero. If he decides that his time is up, he's won his trophy, wants to go give it somewhere else, Sonny, God bless you. Thank you for everything. We'll love you forever, man.
And Richarlison, nowhere to be seen today, not in the squad. A bit of an odd one, isn't it?
That is an interesting one. That definitely is an interesting one. I mean, we heard Solomon was left out, but we heard he picked up an injury, so that's understandable. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know if we want to get conspiracy theory on him too much about that. Who knows what happened? I mean, he may have had some other issue come up, or it could mean there is that link with the Brazilian club, and he may go too. And he's another one. I love him, but if we get a good offer for him and he goes, I think that's okay too.
But Ross, so far so good. First game, first win. Probably three of the best touches I've seen from a Spurs player in their first three touches.
Right?
From Luka Vuskovic. That was quite incredible. And Mohamed Kudus, it was great to see him get on the pitch as well as some other players that outperformed themselves. But Ross, looking forward to seeing you over the course of pre-season and the season, my friend. Good to have you back.
Absolutely. Good to see you boys again. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Big up, Ross.
Big up to you, Ross. Shall we go and have a look at Twitter?
Yeah.
Can we line that one up?
Got a few.
We've got some things to react to on X that we found quite interesting. If you go to our likes, we're just getting it lined up for you now. Here we go. So if you go to our likes,
you might have to refresh. Oh,
go to our
likes. Yeah.
So first and foremost, this is from No Context Tottenham. A very frustrated Morgan Gibbs-White on the pitch today.
Talking about body language. I don't think someone's that bad. So is that a guy who
wants
wants
get me out of here? Get me to Tottenham now.
What am I still doing here, man? Did they win? I don't even know. But
I don't know.
Yeah. Not doesn't seem like he's on top of the world, put it that way.
Yeah. The Croatian lad with some stats on Luka Vuskovic, saying Vuskovic performance versus Reading: 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 goal line clearance, and those were his first 3 touches, by the way. 1 big chance created, 89% pass accuracy, 2 out of 4 duels won, 1 interception, 1 tackle. A star in the making.
And that's how you introduce yourself to just the Spurs fans and the team, to do that, because it's one thing having hype and doing all these things, and you're literally your first game, first 10 minutes, you're on a goal and an assist from corners and with his ball playing ability, and then to finish the game like he did with a clean sheet and showed he's comfortable with both feet. It was so exciting.
Next up, this is a clip of Morgan Gibbs-White leaving the field. Is this a goodbye clap from Morgan Gibbs-White, or is he just clapping the fans?
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. Does he always cut the fans? I'm gonna Forest fans gonna have to tell me.
Yeah, exactly. If any Forest fans are in the chat, I'm sure there are one or two of you at least here. Let us know. Is that something that
To
he
me,
does
that looks like a goodbye.
Yeah, I'm saying goodbye. The next one again is the same video, so we can scroll past that. Kish saying, someone tried to tell me we shouldn't sign Kudus because he had attitude problems. Have you watched his work rate off the ball? The guy is relentless.
Yeah, and I thought he was working very hard. You know, the amount of tackles and kind of getting involved. That's what we were saying. Like in his first season, he ranked really high at West Ham for that. Second season, not so much. But when he's focused and, motivated, this guy's a hard worker.
Absolutely. The Tottenham feed saying a decent corner taker. So, yeah, it was very interesting to see Kudus on corners with Sonny on the pitch as well.
Yeah, and Bergvall as well has taken corners before. And even Donnelly. Donnelly, I think, maybe at
dangerous from them,
Orient.
man.
But he chose Kudus. And you see Vuskovic towering above that Reading defender. And fair play to Lancashire as well, not getting enough credit maybe, but good finish, able to twist his head. But it's all about that Vuskovic kind of flick on. Phenomenal stuff from him.
Yeah. Spurs Express saying Mohamed Kudus created the most chances of any player involved in today's match. A promising start. That was 3 chances created for Kudus.
Yeah, fantastic. Good, really positive start. He looks so dangerous whenever he's getting on the ball as well.
George Achilles says pre-season is well and truly back when an 18-year-old centre-back is already making you think we're going to win the lot. That's so classic, isn't it?
Luka Puskovic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're donning him. What a man.
Look at this passage of play from Mohamed Kudus.
This was actually freakish. I don't know how he manages to do this. Dribbling all the way down the touchline. Look at that. Into this space as well. And also lays on a plate for Donnelly as well. So I don't know how he wriggled out that situation. Incredible. Like he had 2 men, he turns, pass then, link up with Spence, and then down the line, beautiful.
This is the kind of sorcery that we're going to be seeing all season.
Crazy. I don't think anyone in the squad is capable of doing that.
No, no one. Jay Harris says, this might be the craziest 10 minutes on a debut I've ever seen. Vuskovic starts off with a rusty touch and clatters someone, sets up Lancashire, scores, and then blocks a header which was going towards the bottom corner. Fair play. So it wasn't his first touch, it was his second touch. All right.
Yeah, it was one, but it was, as well, the fact that his first one was a bit of a dodgy touch, he didn't let it affect him.
I don't remember that touch, to be fair.
Yeah, because he gave away a foul. I remember I was saying, it was a bit of a dodgy touch, actually. I do remember that. But doesn't matter because he saved up the touches in the next 2. So phenomenal.
Tom Barkley says Mohamed Kudus has looked extremely sharp on his debut for Spurs. Just had a lovely little double drag back and drag out wide, but also looked quick and impressive on the ball too. Vuskovic also very impressive on his debut.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is just look at this finish. Look at this finish from Luka Vuskovic. Oh, is this Harry Kane or is this Luka Vuskovic? What is
left foot? Just how has he just finished that on his left foot as well? Look at it. He's seeing the opportunity, cuts back, waits just on the edge of the box. Oh, it's beautiful.
It really is.
It's so beautiful. Honestly, Odegaard would be lucky to score a goal like that. You know what I mean?
He wishes.
Left-footed, just on his left foot, just sweeping it into the corner. Honestly, that is. You can't underestimate how hard that is for a centre-back to be doing something like that. It's incredible.
100%. Simon Yemene says he knows what he is. Look at that. He knows exactly what he is.
Fantastic.
Generational talent. That's what he is. Tottenham feed. It's just that Morgan Gibbs White video again. Next up after that is from a Korean that says, why is Vicario fiery?
Because he ain't letting anyone bully him.
Exactly. He's been there, done that. He ain't taking no
He's had
more
enough
shit
of this.
anymore.
Exactly. You're going to do. I'm pulling you away.
Next up is Spurs pictures that go hard, and that is Luka Vuskovic running off to celebrate his goal.
He is delighted.
He is him. The Fighting Cock saying the boy has arrived, and that is on Luka Vuskovic once again.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, fantastic.
Hotspur Edition said Mohamed Kudus. That's the tweet.
Everyone's going
Kudus to get carried away from pre-season. This is another angle of that Kudus run. That is actually quite brilliant. That angle.
Well, I would say, did it go out of play?
I don't think so.
Oh, just there.
The other angle,
maybe not. Maybe
the
not,
other
actually.
angle, I think, shows it doesn't.
I think it just stays in, actually. I think he just keeps it in, just looking at it. But fair play. I don't know how he just wriggles out of that situation. It's actually nuts.
But I think that is all we have to react to. So some brilliant stuff coming out of pre-season in a 2-0 win against Reading today. Obviously, Luka Vuskovic and Mohamed Kudus just the talk of the town at this moment in time. And let's hope they can keep it up next week against Luton.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's a very exciting first game. As first games go, to get that Vuskovic debut and goal and assist, seeing Kudus in the flesh, Donnelly and those and others. It was a good start for Thomas Frank, and let's hope we go from strength to strength.
Exactly. Clean sheet, looks really threatening from set pieces, and different tactical variations
Adding,
that we've noticed as well.
We're only players to add into that team. Madison, Kulusevski, we're going to have Romero and Van der Ven together, all these different things. Bergvall more up to speed.
Romero, don't you mean Romero and Vuskovic together?
Romero and Vuskovic together. Van der Ven
Vuskovic
left
is
back.
number one now.
A lot to add to that team still. Tell and Odebear didn't even get a look in today because they're still coming back. So phenomenal.
Yeah, so we'll get even deeper into it tomorrow when we do player ratings and talk even further about the game. But in terms of today, that is it from us today. Do go subscribe to our brand new channel, London is Ours, where we've got an Arsenal fan in Lee Judges, a Chelsea fan in Nini from Blue Lions TV, a West Ham fan in Nikki Hawkins from West Ham Fan TV, where we'll be going head to head every single week, debating all the topics regarding all the London clubs. So yeah, amazing support on the channel so far. Spurs Army, the We Are Tottenham Army have been so strong in supporting us in the new venture, so please do carry on doing that. And if you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button on We Are Tottenham TV as well, daily Spurs content. But that is it from us today, people. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,
Come on, you Spurs.